Well, hello. Welcome to Tarot to a T, where I get some tea and you get some tarot. So it's time for April 2022 readings. Can you believe that? I don't know where the time's going, but that is the mystery of life, eh? Just one of them at least. So, today we're going to do a reading for Taurus for the month of April 2022. If you haven't joined me before, what I like to do for my general monthly reading is look at something that was going on in your recent past, and then look at your current situations, and then look at your likely outcome. And hopefully, it can help you avert disaster or just something, mildly or greatly unpleasant. You never know. Tarot is fun. I think it is. I love it. So in your recent past, Taurus, you have the Jack of Hearts energy. In your current situation, you have the King of Clubs energy. And you are headed towards the Six of Spades. One thing to know about these face cards in this type of tarot reading is these can represent people, or they can just represent the energy. In the case of a Jack, it's usually a younger, I don't want to say immature, but can be an immature energy. It could be a young at heart, honestly. It doesn't have to be a person who's irresponsible and just doesn't know what they're doing. It could also mean inexperienced. So keep that in mind, okay? In your recent past here, you had some kind of dealings, though, with somebody who was very close to you, as indicated by the hearts. This person literally was close to your heart, or is. This may even be you. Maybe you had, I don't know, some kind of, romantic fling that didn't happen. It didn't go on that long, is what I'm trying to say. I'm just trying to sense a little bit of background here, because this can go, like with any interpretation with cards, it can go many different directions. But I'm sensing there was some kind of relationship that was fleeting, honestly. Give us a little clarification here, Spirit, about what was going on in Taurus's recent past. More hearts. Definitely somebody close to your heart. Can mean a family member also, but strong indication it was romantic. And I think you had a new start with them. I like the way this is going. This is actually looking very positive. Feeling young at heart, new start. Doesn't get much better than that, right? But there was a little bit of juggling going on here, literally. It could be literal juggling between people. Either you or the person you were involved with, was juggling potential partners, let's say. As an example, doesn't mean that's what's going on. There's a lot of potential here, though. And it actually ties in very nicely with this Jack, because it's about young, naive energy and just like this sense of adventure. So you had a new start with somebody here in the recent past. And I'm feeling like that's all we need to say at this point. Because what's going on in your present circumstances, this is an older, wise, person in authority, but it's a male energy or an actual male person. Person could have a dark complexion, dark eyes, dark hair, that kind of thing. But they're they're a person with a lot of virtue. They have high moral standards, or they represent that energy. It also represents a fire sign, a Leo, Sag, or Aries. And since you're doing Taurus, this probably isn't you. Unless you're embodying that kind of energy, you know what I mean? Please tell us more about Taurus's current situation. They had this new beginning in the past. My, huh, look at that. So I don't think we're talking about a person with who's embodying all these traits necessarily. Physically, okay? Energetically, for sure. With the hearts, again, we're talking about somebody very loving. They're probably a very giving person, or they have that energy about them. Maybe that's where you're at. Huh, very interesting to look at it that way. You could be embodying, you could be like doting on this person. Not doubting, doting. In other words, treating this person very well that you've had this new beginning with. Maybe it's somebody that you had like a rough start with and you guys kind of broke it off for a while and then you restarted, and now you're just like either representing this energy or you're under the influence of this. It could be the person you're involved with. There's a lot of heavy influence here, though, in some manner. Like a person who's very good for somebody, has a very positive influence over them. It could go both ways, it could go either way. And this represents, for sure, a real, like, partnership. Yeah, with this 3. It's interesting, though, because this 3 actually represents some kind of struggle. It doesn't have to be major. This could be minor. Maybe I just was hearing you're battling your head against your heart, or vice versa. Like you don't know if you should follow your head or your heart. So you're indecisive. You're not sure if you should plunge all the way into this. I think you're holding back. But you're enjoying this kind of generous, loving energy. It's very strong, male, generous, loving energy. I think you might even be. I think you're experiencing this from someone, honestly. Like they are just treating you so perfectly, like nobody has before. And you're a little bit hesitant with that. You don't know if you could trust it. Huh. That right here is telling me that despite some hesitancy, you're moving ahead with it. Yeah, at the present moment, okay? You're a Taurus, so you're stubborn. Because it represents kind of a stuck on an idea or a concept. You're definitely, your mind is fixed on some type of opinion. Let's put it that way. You have a definite opinion about what's going on. I think you're afraid of problems cropping up. Yeah, I think that speaks to this as well. With the 6 of Spades, this is destined. Okay, this is about an open pathway, but the Spades represents, in this case, fate. Like this was meant to happen. And you're going to reach some kind of stability here. This is the way things are going at the moment, Taurus. There's a little bit of a warning to hold back in some manner. Usually the diamonds speak about finances, but I haven't seen anything here that talks about finances, so I don't think we're talking about a monetary involvement, but don't put all your eggs in one basket. If it's a person, which I'm pretty sure that's what this is speaking of, don't put all your eggs in one basket. But again, that's that Taurian caution. Be very cautious, the Taurus. They want to trust, but this is my experience with them, they hold back. They're a little bit reserved. Like here. Just worried about how things are going to pan out. Don't want to get hurt, right? Mm-hmm. But, again, in the near future here, you are moving ahead with things. This is not going away. Whatever this is not going away. I think you're putting some stress on yourself. Honestly, that's where you're headed. I think it's starting to bud right here. Because this is a warning about being overstressed. A lot of times it has to do with, this card comes up with work stress, but I'm not sensing any work situation. I think it's saying you don't have to be that worried. Reduce the amount of stress here. Take a break. You know, step back and get a perspective if you need to. Let's get one more card before we wrap it up for the Taurus. This is going to ultimately lead you to balance and harmony. Possibly speaking of this relationship, but this could be an overall indication in your life, honestly. If you haven't had a lot of balance and harmony recently, yeah. Again, there's a little bit of fear in this card. These spades, a lot of times, they're like our insecurities. I think you're feeling like you're not quite sure about this still. I think you're going to remain in that state, unfortunately. Unfortunately for the person, not necessarily for you, the Taurus, but the person on the other end. You're just going to be kind of watching out. Yeah. Because you're just not sure. It takes a lot to win your trust. But you're definitely striving for this place of balance. And being paired up with someone. You know, I did a Taurus reading, I think it was last month, or it might have been mid-month, where you met somebody special. Go back and read and see that one. That would be for the month of March. Either the mid-month or just the March reading. But I know it was Taurus. Taurus was meeting somebody special in that reading. And I'm totally seeing this as maybe a continuation of that. A new start means maybe you met somebody special, but nothing happened at first, and then here we are. How cool is that? I'm going to leave it there, Taurus. So, yeah, thank you for joining me. Let me know in the comments if this resonated, and please like and subscribe. I'm trying to build up this channel, so I could really use your support. It doesn't cost you a thing, and, you know, it's the fun of life. What can we say? Tarot, to me, it kind of gives an extra dimension to our lives that it's fun. It's relaxing, and it just kind of takes us out of the ordinary grind of life. I don't know how else to describe that, but I just love that feeling. So take care until I see you again, and do have some faith in this. Okay, I'll see you again in a couple weeks.